again, this is Judy Covington, co-founder of TMCI. Our ministry in overseas did not begin immediately when God called us. I guess you figured out by now that we were probably the poorest excuse for evangelists and Bible teachers, where we weren't fancy, we didn't have fancy clothes, and we were pretty poor. We had to pray in the money we needed to survive on. But God had called us, and his call was very strong. And we had to obey it, even though it meant we didn't have the finer things in life. But when my husband was 54, we were still traveling, just the two of us, as evangelists and preaching and teaching the Bible. And we were in Kentucky again, in Radcliffe, Kentucky. And there was in the church when we were preaching, there was a medical doctor. And he says to me, he says, I want you to come by my office early in the morning. I want to give you a physical because you don't look so good. So he went by in the morning, and this doctor performed his physical. While he was doing the EKG, then had a heart attack. So this doctor ran down the hall and got the cardiologist. And they said to him, you got to go to the hospital. You can't, you're going to die. So he said, no, we're going to Bowling Green. We have to preach over there next. So we went to Bowling Green, and the pastor there didn't believe in women preachers. So when we got there, Ben said, I can't preach. I'm just too weak. People have to preach. So somehow we did it. I made it, and we preached at Bowling Green. But then we came back, we were on our way back home, and praying. I said, Lord, you know what, this is what you called us to do, and we've done it for this time. And now he was only 54 years old, and he said, this is the end of it. And what are we going to do now? And the Lord said to us, you can get a lot more people, you can reach a lot more people if you send other people instead of going yourselves. And that was the beginning of what became TMCI. As people came to us. At first, we did not recruit anybody, but we had people who came to us, and we helped them with their ministries. We had, I'll tell you another story about another time about how we got all of our tax exemptions, and how God sent help along just at the right time. We got a 501c3 and then a group tax exemption. We became a tax exempt group so that we were able to help other people get their 501c3. But back to Brazil. The second time we went to Brazil, or maybe it was the first time, we had done some ministry in Chile, but as far as foreign ministry, Brazil was only the second country we'd ever been to. We were invited there by the Methodist Church of Brazil, and this particular district of the Methodist Church was what they called a renewed district. In other words, that people were getting healed. They were getting filled with the Holy Spirit. It was a time during the charismatic movement when God was just pouring out His Spirit all over the place. Well, when we got to the airport there, the bishop met us. And this bishop was, he had an English name, but he was a Brazilian. He spoke Portuguese, so he had a translator there. And he said to us, before we do anything else, he said, I'm bringing my pastors together, all the ministers in this district, and I want you to tell them how to be baptized in the Holy Spirit. Well, after an overnight flight, that's not exactly what you're going to do first thing, because you need to really get prayed up and think about it. So, but he said, no, we need to do it now. So he brought all his pastors in. So my dear husband says to me, honey, I don't know how to teach these people how to be baptized in the Holy Spirit. So it lay to me to do it. So I did a very brief talk with John about a drink and a baptism, and talk about how Jesus said to the Samaritan woman, if you take a drink of this water, you'll never thirst again. that he said to her, that water will be in you, a well springing up to everlasting life. So that's a drink of water. When you drink water, you hope you won't get any of it from the outside of you. But when John chapter 7, when Jesus is at the Feast of Tabernacles, he takes the water on the last day of the feast, when they brought him water to pour, to demonstrate God's provision of water in the desert. And at that point, this very solemn time in the ceremony, Jesus stands up and he says, if anyone will come to me, I will pour out my spirit on him, and he will have rivers of living water, not a well, but rivers of living water. And I'm not sure the exact, I should have looked it up, but anyway, have rivers of living water. So what Jesus is saying there is it seems to me, is that there's a drink of water, and then there is an immersion in water. Remember, John said, I baptize with water, but the one who comes after me will baptize you, the Holy Spirit, and with fire. And that Jesus, when he left his disciples, the last of Luke, he says to them, don't leave Jerusalem. You go to Jerusalem and you wait until I send you the promise of the Father. Don't leave Jerusalem until you are clothed with power from on high. In other words, Jesus was saying, don't be a shrinker. Don't leave home without your clothes on. So when the Holy Spirit came, he came to the upper room, and he had these flames of fire set on each one of their heads, which was a symbol of the Holy Spirit clothing them, so that Peter, who had denied Jesus and was so timid and so terrified when Jesus was arrested, now he goes out and preaches in power. So I told the pastors these two little stories, and then we prayed for them, and they all started speaking in tongues. I have to tell you, my faith was kind of low, because I'm used to dealing with Americans. But this bishop had prepared his people. And so the first thing we did, we landed in Brazil, was to lead these Methodist pastors into the fullness of the Spirit. And boy, did we have a time after that. We'll tell you one more story from Brazil next. And I hope you will enjoy it, because it's a miracle story as well. God bless you. Goodbye.
Thanks so much for watching TMCI TV. If you found any benefit in this episode, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and ring the notification bell so you can stay up to date with our future videos. If you are interested in planning a church, starting a ministry, or looking for 501c3 tax exemption status for your existing church or ministry, TMCI can help. Click the link in the description below for more information. We look forward to hearing from you soon. God bless.